I'm trying out my two-wheel drive Traxxas Rustler to see if I can have as much fun with it as with the four-wheel drive one.
This is my Rustler 4x4 that I converted to two-wheel drive by taking out the drive shaft. I was having a lot of problems with the whole drivetrain, so I figured if I take the drive shaft out, it's gonna take a bunch of tension off of that motor and hopefully keep it from breaking.
I will be testing 3 categories: handling, speed, and stunts to see if four-wheel drive is worth the extra money.
First up, we're gonna be testing the handling. And right out of the gate, it just drifts. It spun out again. It is really hard to keep it straight. Full throttle. I think the TSM has a really hard time keeping up with it. I'm also noticing a lot more wheel spin. At first I thought it was the slipper clutch, but then I realized that it's not making that weird noise that it did when I forgot to tighten the slipper clutch last time. Maybe it'll handle better on the asphalt. When I stop, it makes a full swing, and it did that in four-wheel drive, but not as bad. It also takes a lot longer to stop. However, the acceleration is even crazier than it was in four-wheel drive. So the grub screw loosened and the pinion slid on the motor, which made the spur gear strike the grub screw on the pinion. And now there's that little piece of metal in between the teeth on the pinion, which makes it impossible to take that grub screw out, even with a pair of pliers. My pliers are too big to push that piece of metal out of the way. I guess maybe two-wheel drive isn't any easier on the driveline. I did not manage to get the grub screw out of that pinion gear, so I went to my local hobby shop and picked up a new one with a new grub screw, and I also got some blue Loctite. So now I'm gonna try and put that new pinion gear on with the right color Loctite, make sure it's all lined up, and then hopefully the Rustler works as it should. There's really nothing left for me to try. The only thing that the guy at the hobby shop mentioned is replacing the motor mount, which I had thought about, but he didn't have any in stock, so this repair had better work.
And this repair comes right on the heels of one of my rear tires blowing off of the whole drive shaft right after I converted the Rustler to two-wheel drive. I had to buy new lock nuts because I couldn't find the one that flew off.
It's the next day and I've given the Loctite over 24 hours to cure and made sure that everything was tight and in the right spot. I don't have a GPS to get an exact speed reading, but it should be pretty obvious whether or not the two-wheel drive Rustler is faster than the four-wheel drive one. I'm just gonna get warmed up here real quick, and then I am going to full send this thing down the street. We have a fully charged battery for this. Here we go. This is full throttle. Oh, it takes forever to stop. Let's bring it back. It's hard to see with the mirage. In the grass. There it is. We're full throttle. That actually did appear a little bit faster than the four-wheel drive Rustler, and that's probably due to the reduced resistance on the motor and the power loss that the drive shaft causes. I'm gonna run it down the street again, coming from the other direction. Oh, there's a car. Don't drive over it. Okay, I'm gonna walk down there and find it, and let's do this again. I see it. It's a good thing I got orange. The orange is really easy to spot, even in the grass. That thing is flying. All right, we hit the grass. That acted as a good brake. Let's go find it. Thank goodness I see it off in the distance right before that next street. What are you doing in the grass? Get out of there. The Rustler definitely has a harder time getting over these ruts with only two wheels driving it. It is pretty stuck. If you want to do some more serious off-roading with a two-wheel drive RC car, you're probably not going to have a fun time. But if you just want to do speed runs on concrete and asphalt and other smooth surfaces, you're probably going to be impressed. For anyone wondering, I was running this with the 11-tooth pinion and I believe the 54-tooth spur gear. If I run it with anything higher than that and try to make it go faster, all it does is overheat, but I use that same setup with the 4x4 version. Although the handling's not as good, I'm still having a lot of fun out here and not getting bored yet. Last but not least, I want to try some stunts, and I'm going to start off super light with this overgrown pothole here. Obviously no problem. I really don't feel a difference between this and the four-wheel drive version of the Rustler. Just glides over it like any Rustler would. Still super fun to see the gravel just fly up behind this thing. Let's go find some jumps to rip this thing around on. Found a nice shady spot under a bridge. I apologize for the traffic noise. You can see a bunch of people have driven through here, I guess to try to have fun like me. Whoa, look at that suspension. Two-wheel drive is not gonna work to get it out of that rut. Let's see if it makes it up. I think I'm gonna have to start on the concrete instead of the dirt. I'm gonna give it a little boost. Hey, it made it, let's go. And it can just sit up there, look at that. It's gonna come thundering down. Let's do that again. All right. Can't do it. There we go. Just need a bit of a running start. Here we've got a track, I believe built by some BMX or quad owners, and I'm gonna use it as an RC track. There's some muddy sand right there. I'm afraid to go through the deepest parts of it with only two-wheel drive. Let's do it anyway. Oh, that was baked hard. The ground kind of looks like chocolate shavings. Some sledgehammer tires would probably help. One thing's for sure though, it still has plenty of power to get up those inclines. Unfortunately, in two-wheel drive, the Rustler is digging a lot more holes than it's covering miles. And I have to feather the throttle a lot more than with four-wheel drive. The only way to get it to do a good clean run is to get a running start with some traction and then send it and try to keep it straight. The gears have stripped out when I flip the truck over and when I turn it super hard, so I'm interested to see if we wreck it when I go over the nastiest part of this course. Once this thing regains traction on the asphalt, it just takes off. Upright! I don't think it's gonna get out of that one on its own. That almost looks like foam from somebody else's RC tire. Oh, nice. That's what I'm looking for. Coming in hot. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. This is where I get myself into trouble, but man, it's so much fun. Upright. And nothing's stripped out. It still runs great. I think that fix worked. I might just keep it in two-wheel drive. First, when I came over here to make the recovery, I thought that that was a skid plate for my RC truck. Boy, that would have been bad. Look at that thing, all covered in sand. So, should you buy a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive RC? Well, I can't answer that for you. What I can say though is that personally, I like the four-wheel drive better, and it better suits me since I love to race off-road. I really need that four-wheel drive grip to keep from constantly picking up the truck. If this video did help you pick between a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive RC, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out more of my other videos. If you want this truck, I've left a link down in the description for you to go pick it up, as well as links to my merch and some other cool stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Does that light post seem swollen to you? It's probably fine.